Imagine a land where the ground beneath people's feet is worth more than entire nations. Yet the same people are forced to run for their lives at a land where every grain of sand hides secrets that the world's most powerful countries desperately want to control. Today, we go deep inside Sudan, a country drowning in conflict, but overflowing with resources so valuable that nations are quietly fighting a silent war to claim them. That you've heard about Sudan's crisis in the news, but what you haven't been told is the real reason global powers are circling this country like vultures. Sudan sits on one of the richest collections of earth minerals on the planet: gold, uranium, chromium, copper, and even rare earth elements. The minerals that power smartphones, electric vehicles, military drones, and advanced weapons systems. While the world sees destruction, the world powers see opportunity. While the people of Sudan fight for survival, foreign governments and private military companies fight for control of its mines. The truth is simple. Whoever controls Sudan's minerals controls the future of technology, energy, and even warfare. And that's why countries thousands of miles away, China, Russia, the United States, the UAE, are deeply involved in a crisis most people think is just an African civil war. It's not that; it's a global race worth billions of dollars, buried under one of the most unstable lands on Earth. Today, we uncover how this hidden scramble for minerals is shaping Sudan's conflict, fueling international tension, and redefining the next generation of power. Stay with me as we reveal the real story no one is telling, the story of a nation sitting on priceless resources while the world fights to take them away. Sudan is a country many people only hear about when tragedy strikes, but beneath its struggling surface lies a geological treasure that could transform entire industries. Sudan's land is rich, almost unbelievably rich, with minerals that modern technology depends on. Deep within its deserts are massive deposits of gold, making Sudan one of Africa's top 3 producers. But gold is only the beginning. Sudan also holds uranium, the kind used for nuclear reactors and, in some cases, nuclear weapons. Buried nearby are chromium and manganese, critical for steel production and high-strength alloys. And what makes Sudan even more strategically important is the presence of rare earth elements, the minerals that are used to build smartphones, lithium batteries, advanced robotics, satellites, and military hardware. These minerals are extremely difficult to find, and only a handful of countries in the world control them. Sudan happens to be one of those countries. But despite being so mineral-rich, Sudan remains economically weak, politically unstable, and deeply affected by war. And that combination, wealth under the ground, chaos above it, creates the perfect environment for foreign powers to step in. Because in Sudan, the minerals aren't just valuable, they're powerful enough to shape the future. When you look at Sudan from the outside, it might seem like a remote conflict far away from the rest of the world. But behind the scenes, several of the world's biggest powers are heavily involved, not out of charity, not out of concern, but because each one wants a piece of Sudan's mineral wealth. China is one of the most active players. Over the last decade, China has invested billions across Africa, gaining access to gold mines, oil fields, and rare earth elements. For China, controlling minerals is the key to dominating global manufacturing, electric vehicles, and military technology. Russia, especially through its private military group Wagner, has also been extracting gold from Sudan. That gold is then smuggled to bypass sanctions and finance Russia's operations elsewhere. The United States sees Sudan from a national security perspective. Washington wants to limit China's and Russia's influence in Africa and secure access to uranium and rare minerals needed for advanced weapons and energy systems. Then comes the Gulf countries, mainly the UAE and Saudi Arabia, who are quietly supporting different sides of Sudan's conflict to secure mining deals. Each of these powers doesn't just want minerals, they want control, and that makes Sudan a global chessboard. To understand why Sudan is burning today, you have to understand the power struggle happening beneath the surface. The conflict isn't simply 2 groups fighting for political control. It's a battle for economic dominance over Sudan's mineral-rich regions. That on one side is the Sudan Armed Forces, the traditional military; on the other is the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, a powerful paramilitary group that grew out of militias. What makes the RSF extremely influential is its control over several major gold mines in Sudan, especially in the Darfur region. These mines bring in hundreds of millions of dollars, money that the RSF uses to buy weapons, recruit fighters, and gain political leverage. The official military, meanwhile, controls strategic cities, airports, and parts of the oil industry. Each side has foreign supporters who benefit from their victory. The RSF has been linked to the UAE and Russia's Wagner Group, while the military receives backing from Egypt and other states. So the war you see on the news isn't just internal. It's a proxy conflict shaped by foreign interests. The more minerals Sudan has, the more valuable each side becomes to outside powers. And as long as billions of dollars are buried in Sudanese soil, peace remains out of reach. Sudan's gold doesn't just stay in Sudan. And that's where the story becomes even more complicated. Unlike oil, gold is easy to smuggle. You can carry millions of dollars worth of gold in a single suitcase. No paperwork, no trace. And that's exactly what has been happening for years. Much of Sudan's gold is mined in conflict zones controlled by the RSF. From there, it moves through unofficial routes into neighboring countries and eventually reaches the UAE, which has become one of the biggest hubs for African gold. Once the gold enters international markets, it becomes almost impossible to trace. Some of this gold is also linked to Russia. Reports have shown that the Wagner Group uses Sudanese gold to support its military operations, avoid sanctions, and generate funds for the Kremlin. Meanwhile, the Sudanese people barely see any benefit from these resources. Most of the wealth leaves the country through illegal channels, while miners work in unsafe conditions and communities near mining sites suffer from pollution and poverty. In other words, Sudan's gold has become both a source of wealth and a source of war. The more valuable it becomes, the more violent the competition grows, and the global market continues to benefit. If gold can ignite conflicts, rare earth elements can shape the entire future of global power. These minerals sound small and insignificant, but they are at the heart of modern technology. Everything from electric cars to guided missiles depends on them. The world already relies heavily on China, which controls over 70% of global rare earth production. Any country that hasn't used untouched rare earth deposits becomes extremely important. Sudan is one of those countries. Its rare earth potential has been known for years, but political chaos and instability have prevented proper development. Still, these minerals haven't gone unnoticed. China sees Sudan as a strategic backup supply in case global tensions rise. The United States sees Sudan as a chance to reduce China's dominance, and Russia sees it as an opportunity to gain minerals crucial for military hardware. Rare earth elements could have transformed Sudan into a wealthy, stable country. Instead, they've become another reason for global powers to influence its politics. As technology advances, the demand for these minerals will explode. This means Sudan won't just be a battleground today. It could be at the center of technological battles for decades to come. Behind every mine, every gold shipment, and every foreign deal, there are real human lives being affected, lives that rarely make it into international headlines. Millions of Sudanese people have been forced to flee their homes because the areas around mines have become battlegrounds. Families hide in abandoned buildings as armed groups fight for control of land rich in minerals. Children grow up in camps with no schools, no clean water, and no sense of safety. While foreign companies negotiate billion-dollar deals, Sudanese miners dig with their bare hands, breathing toxic dust and risking deadly cave-ins. Women walk miles just to find food or medical help. Hospitals have collapsed, businesses have shut down, and entire cities have become ghost towns. The cruel irony is that Sudan is one of the richest countries in terms of resources, yet its people live some of the hardest lives. The minerals buried under their land are creating wealth for everyone except them. And until the struggle for these resources ends, ordinary Sudanese will continue to pay the price. Their suffering is the silent cost of global ambition, and their stories deserve to be told.